Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar about publication on scientific journal, do's and don'ts. My name is Fitriani Bandunaek. I'm a student of English Education Program of STKIP Soe. It is a wonderful, precious chance for me to be your host on this very special. Firstly, let us say thanks to our God, the Lord of the universe, who has been giving his blessing and mercy so that we can join and participate this webinar well without any obstacles. Therefore, let's have a moment of silence to say our thanks to the Almighty God through prayers. Pray begin. Pray and. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we will listen to our national anthem. Excuse me, everyone. Do you listen to my voice well?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's better for us to know our special speakers for our webinar today. They are Adaninggar Septi Subekti, Master of Science from UKDW Yogyakarta. Hello, Miss Ada.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
And the second speaker is Miss Sonya Benu, M.Pd from STKIP Soe. Hello, Miss Sonya.
Hello, good morning. Can you listen to my voice?
Yes.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, our great moderator that will guide us during the webinar happen is Mrs. Heidi Wulandari, S.Pd M.Hum. Hello, Miss Heidi.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have heard about publication on scientific journal, do's and don'ts. But don't worry, You will get new lessons that can improve and increase your insight about publication on scientific journal. So I hope you will enjoy this webinar until finish. And ladies and gentlemen, before I give the big opportunity to our moderator, please read the rules during the webinar happen that we have shared on chat box. Hopefully, everyone obeys the rules. And without any further ado, let me give the opportunity to our moderator. To Miss Heidi, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, host, for the opportunity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Heidi Wulandari. I am a lecturer of English Education Program in Sekolah Tinggi Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Soe. Well, I'm going to lead you in this webinar sessions, but before that, let me check whether you can see and hear me clearly. So please do answer my question. Is everything clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Please.
yeah.
Okay, great then. So, ladies and gentlemen, to start the sessions, let me explain to you how the sessions of the webinar will be conducted. So, for the first session, we will have both of our speakers, Ibu Ada and Ibu Sonya, talk about the materials, and then followed by question and answer sessions. So for the participants who have questions, you may send your questions to the chat box by following the format of the questions that the committee has sent to the chat box. Next, on the question and answer sessions, the committee will choose some of the questions, and then I will read the questions to the speakers. And after that, at the end of question and answer sessions, I will give chance to two participants to give questions directly to the speakers. One participant's question for Ibu Ada and the other for Ibu Sonya. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's just start with the first session of the webinar. In this session, the material that we delivered is journal publication, quality of research article, and article submission. The speaker will be Ibu Adaninggar Septi Subekti, Master of Science. She obtained her master degree in TESOL from University of Edinburgh, Scotland, UK. And currently she works as a lecturer at the English Language Education Department of Universitas Kristen Duta Wacana, Yogyakarta. She is also the editor-in-chief of Saga Journal, UKDW, and a reviewer of several SINTA accredited journals. Throughout her career, she has taught students from various levels of education, including teaching ESP to medical students and biology students, as well as teaching non-English teachers of high schools. She was once also a teacher of Indonesian language at Arizona State University from 2013 to 2014. Well, ladies and gentlemen, by knowing this information, it is revealed that the speaker of this webinar is an outstanding source of knowledge. So without any further ado, please welcome our first speaker of the webinar, Adaninggar Septi Subekti, Master of Science. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Heidi. Let me share my screen. I think the host disabled participant screen sharing. Bu Heidi. hear me?
Yes, it is clear, Ibu Ada.
I think I cannot share my screen because of the setting.
Okay, wait a moment, Ibu Ada.
Yeah.
Can you check it now?
All right. Let me see. How about now?
Okay.
Can you see my screen? All right.
Yes.
So yes. Can I start? Okay.
Sure.
So thank you very much, Heidi, for the time, and thank you for the opportunity for sharing today. So very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu. So today I will be sharing about journal publication, quality of research articles, and article submission. Yeah. So perhaps before I continue further, I would love to say that what I'm gonna share today is not like one size fits all, yeah, strategy. At the end of the day, I think you can determine for yourself whether or not what I shared today is applicable in and to your context. Yeah. All right. Let me start from the first part, that is quality of research articles. First is this one. So how do we maintain the quality of research articles? So first, we need to do a lot of reading. Yeah, we need to do a lot of reading. So reading time, and writing time. Well, I mean, many people are really concerned about how they can write more. Yeah, but maybe only few, yeah, are really paying attention of the time that they spend to read, to actually read journal articles for references. So I think this is the one that I want to highlight. So when we are writing a journal article, before we write, actually we need to read. Yeah? And the first thing that we need to remember is sometimes, and perhaps most of the time, the reading time will take more. The time we read will be more than the time we use to write the report, or the article itself. This is the first thing to realize. And then the second, that is being open-minded. So we need to be open-minded, to any possibilities when we read, existing research articles. So sometimes when we are, we want to write an article or research, sometimes our paradigm is just focusing on certain goal, I will find articles that support my research. Sometimes it's like that. That's what usually happens. But then what we need to realize is that sometimes we find the opposite. Yeah. After we read, it turns out that what we are going to investigate is not really worthwhile. And then after we read, and then we can change our mind, something like that. So I think it is important for us to be open-minded to any possibilities when we are reading existing research articles. Yeah. So the first strategy is to read a lot of journal articles for the improvement of our background knowledge before actually writing the report. This is the first. And then the second, this is very important. So we need to have clear and strong rationales of conducting the study. That is the reason, why we do the study, why we do the research. So for example, we can ask ourselves, why is researching this selected topic worthwhile? For example, you want to research about anxiety or motivation. Why do you think researching anxiety or motivation worthwhile? Yeah, in relation, for example, with language teaching. Yeah, and then the second, why is researching the participants and research contexts worthwhile? So let's say, for example, you are a teacher in an institution, and then the easiest access would be researching your students, right? So you have that set mind that I want to research my students, but still you need, or we all need to see what other people, other researchers have been doing, yeah? Whether or not participants with the same characteristics have been researched before. And then why is using certain methods or design worthwhile? Yeah. So let's say, for example, after we read, we find that many articles or many research studies have been conducted in using survey, for example. Let's just make a difference by making an experimental study, for example. Yeah. Or if there are many studies are already using survey, what if we do a case study with qualitative methods? So we have a difference, yeah, for example. The tricky part is that we need to argue all of these three in relation with the existing literature that we have read. So we cannot argue these three using our own opinions or assumptions. That's why we need to have a lot of reading. We need to have a lot of reading, and after that we will know. Yeah, we will know the map. Yeah, the map of literature, the plethora of research in the topic that we are going to research. Yeah. So it's not like, okay, I want to research this topic. I don't care about what other people have been doing. I think this is a not so correct way of starting a research. Yeah, when we want to start a research, we need to know in what position this research is in relation with other research that has been done by other people. So we need to make a stand here. I mean, we need to have the rationale, of why we conduct a certain study. So this is the second strategy. And then the third strategy, I think this is very important. Let me explain it one by one. So we need to use the combination of descriptive expressions and analytical expressions, especially when we are doing a literature review or the introduction, in which we review or mention the theories and then previous studies findings. Let's have a descriptive language. The example is something like this. I think you are all familiar with this. So we say, or we write, the author stated this, author said that, or this study found this or found that. That is what we call descriptive expressions. So we describe what have been done in terms of research. But then descriptive language only, I think, in my opinion, is not enough. We need to combine it with analytical expressions. Analytical expressions, we analyze, we compare author's statements, previous studies findings, and then we use signposts, for example, in comparison, in contrast, and so on. So yes, we can use descriptive language, but descriptive language only, I think, is not enough. We need to combine analytical and descriptive expressions when we are doing literature review or introduction. And one important thing to realize is when we are using analytical language and then we are comparing, we are comparing studies and studies, yeah, it also means that we need to acknowledge any conflicting findings, yeah, any conflicting findings. What is meant by conflicting findings is, yeah, it's going back to our attitude of being open-minded, yeah. Okay, let's say, for example, certain method, you think that certain method is useful for teaching, but then it turns out after you read that this method that you are going to investigate turns out that they are not really, this method is not really effective, for example, or that the results can be inconsistent. So in some contexts, it works. In some other contexts, they don't really work. This method doesn't really work. So it can happen. And we need to be open-minded with that possibility. And we need to review that in the literature review. I think this is the third, yeah, suggestion that I can give. And then the fourth, this is a basic, but sometimes this basic is not, it is neglected by some authors. That is, when we are writing, yeah, writing or reviewing literature is very important. Yeah, it's not just what is it? Lists, yeah, list of citations, yeah, but it has purpose, yeah. So we need to write literature that will be used in findings and discussions. So let's say, for example, most of us perhaps are teachers, yeah, and then we like to do classroom action research. What I often find in a CAR article is that in the literature review, this article is reviewing the theories of CAR, yeah? And then in the findings and discussion, there are only, you see, findings, and then the author says this, says that, without any relation with the literature that this author has been reviewing before. So something like this. So I would suggest that we need to, what is it? We need to make sure that there is no new source, yeah? There is no new source in finding and discussion. So whatever is written, I mean the citations or source in the findings and discussion should have been reviewed, should have been discussed in the literature review or the introduction section. And you see, the connection is very close, yeah, between literature review and findings and discussion. That's why when we are writing literature review, we need to make sure that this literature is related to our research. All right, and then the next, yeah, this is also very basic actually. So all of the impact citations, yeah, which can be so many, because we read a lot, right? Before we can write, yeah. This impact citation should correspond to the references, yeah. I think this is very basic, but then this very basic knowledge is something sometimes neglected by several authors. So what is it? The common phenomenon happening is that like this. It's like this. So we write, yeah, indirect sources, yeah. We read a book, yeah. We read a book, and then we find many authors there, many citations there, yeah. But then we just copy, yeah. We just copy this citation into our article, and then claim that as a direct source, yeah, as a direct source. And it turns out that these names, these citations are not found in the references. So the credibility of our paper would be very, very low in that case. If we are reviewing, yeah, reviewers, we see that the citations that we mentioned do not appear in the references. Yeah, to help us organize our references or citations. Actually, we have reference managers. Yeah, we have options. For example, Mendeley, Sotero, EndNote. Yeah, I'm not trying to advertise, but I think more and more journals, yeah, are requiring us, yeah, authors to use reference managers so that we can maintain, yeah, the accuracy of the in-text citations and also the references. All right, I will demonstrate perhaps, yeah. So this is the appearance of an application, yeah. I'm using Mendeley, but you can use many other options, yeah. Let's say something like this. So we have the database in Mendeley, and then I will insert citations, just random, yeah. Yeah, something like this. It's already organized in APA. Okay, this is our in-text citations, and then we can insert the bibliography, and then we have it. And we can make sure that the in-text citations and the references match. Yeah. Let's say, for example, we have McIntyre et al. Here. We have McIntyre et al. Here in the references. We have Subekti and Susyatina here in the in-text citations. We also have Subekti and Susyatina here in the references. And then if we want to add more, yeah, let's just random, yeah, random. And then it's already automatically updated, yeah. So of course, before this step can be taken, we need to download or install, yeah, the applications, and then upload journal articles, and then make a database. But in general, the end product would be helping us in organizing our citations and references. Yeah. So I would strongly recommend you, if you haven't used such kind of reference manager, to use reference manager. You see the job of writing, the job of reading are already too much, right? We don't want to make even more burden for us to to check, yeah, the citations and references accuracy. That's why we have some help here using technology. So this is number 5, yeah. And then I think this is the last, yeah, the last that I can share for the quality of article, yeah. That is implementing ethical principle in our research, yeah. We need to implement ethics, yeah, the principle of ethics in our research. Yeah, we have beneficence, doing good, yeah, not maleficence, not doing harm, yeah, justice, and also autonomy or voluntary participation. If we are teachers, we are in the position of power. That is one thing that we need to realize. So when we want to involve our students, yeah, sometimes students maybe, yeah, just maybe, students do not know that they have the right, or yeah, the right to say no to their teacher. Yeah, in fact, they can't, yeah, if they wish to do so. So, for example, we want to involve our students in our research, even though they are our students, yeah, they still have a say. If they don't want to participate in our research, we shall not force them to do so. And they have right to say no, yeah, even to the teachers. Well, it's unlikely, yes. What is it? Our students are generally very helpful, but then even then, yeah, we need to ask permissions. Let's say, for example, we are doing classroom action research, yeah, or we are using their paper, for example, for document analysis, reflections for document analysis. We still need to ask permission, even though they submit these tasks to us, yeah, to be graded. But for research purpose, they still need to consent the use of the tasks for research purpose. Yeah. Other implementations, let's say, for example, not mentioning real names. Yeah, I normally use pseudonyms, for example, for interview data. And then not mentioning exact names of institution, let's say, for example, universities and schools. Yeah, I still, yeah, often sometimes I find title saying something like this, blah blah blah, in exact name of the institution, blah blah blah, junior high school. Yeah, the precise exact name of the institution. I'm not saying you cannot do that, we cannot do that, but I personally believe that we should not do that. Yeah, we should not do that. Somehow we can conceal it. Yeah, somehow we can conceal it. And I don't think mentioning exact institution name will benefit our research much. Yeah. And then the use of informed consent. Informed consent forms. That is basically the way we ask permissions, yeah, the way we ask permissions to the participants of our research, yeah. This is an example of a Google Form consent form. Actually, this is interview consent form, yeah. So sometimes we have questionnaire consent form. We distribute that before we distribute our questionnaire, and this is the example of interview, yeah, interview consent form. So we write the title of our research and then some introduction from us, yeah. Let's say, for example, the benefits and then the duration of the interview. And then if we click next, actually these are the statements indicating that they know their right and responsibility as participants. Yeah, let's say, for example, voluntary participations. Yeah, and then consent. Yeah, to record. Yeah, the interview, and also confidentiality of other information. Yeah, private, like name. Yeah, let's say, for example, grade. Yeah. Like that. This is an example of interview consent form. If we are doing it offline, we can have certain kind of paper, yeah, piece of paper, and then we write our purpose, and then something like this. I have been explained about the objective of the research, and I've been given a chance to ask questions. Yes, tick tick tick, and then they sign, yeah, the participants to indicate their consent. Okay, so if I think this is the last, and if I can summarize, so we have this. Oh, sorry. So we have this. The summary from here, how to maintain the quality of research articles. The class is doing a lot of reading, and then having clear and strong rationales of conducting the study, and then using combination of descriptive expressions and analytical expressions, and then writing or reviewing literature that will be used in findings and discussions, and then the correspondence between citations and references. And then the last is implementing ethical principle. All right, so this is about maintaining the quality of research article. So let me move to the second part. Yeah, I will just explain, yeah, how we can submit. Okay, sometimes we submit our manuscript to a journal and then it gets rejected, yeah, without even undergoing any blind review, for example. What may be the cause, yeah, what may be the problems? So yeah, after we have manuscript, yeah, we need to select a journal, yeah, out of many journal, yeah, for our manuscript, yeah. The first, we need to assess, yeah, we need to assess the quality of our article. We need to assess the quality of our article. Sometimes after we finished writing our manuscript, we can assess somehow, yeah. Oh, is it Scopus quality? Synta 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6, or non-accredited, yeah. But if, let's say, for example, perhaps some of you do not feel really confident on how to assess, yeah, the quality of your manuscript, you can perhaps start from the lowest, yeah, and then see what happens. Perhaps you can start from non-accredited journal, yeah, and then if the review is too easy for you, perhaps you can level up, yeah, Synta something, Synta 5, Synta 6, and then you can move on. That way, you can be familiar with how, yeah, you can familiar with comparing your article and the journal. Okay, this article suits this journal, something like that. And then before we submit, yeah, before we submit our manuscript to a journal, we need to check whether this journal has regular publication. Let me share. This is the journal that I'm managing. This is non-accredited, not yet accredited yet, yeah. But rather than showing other people's journal, yeah, perhaps it's better to show the UKDW's journal. So let's say, for example, here now is May 2021. We see if you want to submit an article in this journal, you need to see the archive. Yeah, you need to see the archive. So this journal, for example, publishes on August and then February, yeah, February and August. And then we have August 2020, February, oh, sorry, we start from here, yeah, February 2020. And then we have, oops, how should I write it? Oh, read it down. Okay, February, yeah, 2020. And then we have August, yeah, 2020. And then the last one here, February 2021. And then the next publication would be August 2021, right? So you can say that this journal has regular publication. So let's say now it's May 2021, and then you find a journal, and then the last publication is, let's say, 2019. You need to think twice before submitting your manuscript to the journal, yeah? So journal with a regular publication. And then number 3 is very important, that is article template. Sometimes we just write as the way we want without considering the article template of certain journal, yeah. So article template, usually we have IMRED or IMRED, that is introduction, method, results, and discussion. Or we have the other one that is using explicit literature review, yeah. I suggest you not to submit your article to a journal with explicit literature review if that journal has IMRED template, yeah, because you need to what is it, not delete, yeah, you need to adjust your literature review in the introduction part. So something like that. Sometimes you submit a manuscript with literature review, explicit literature review, yeah, introduction, literature review, method, yeah, to an IMRED journal. That might not be very wise, yeah. It can slow down the review process. And then the minimum and maximum length, and of course the focus and scope. And then the last, yeah, it's repeating what I have explained. whether or not the journal requires you to use a reference manager. And then this one is optional, yeah. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I do not do this. So we can contact the editors asking the typical duration of review process before we submit. Yeah? Sometimes they reply fast, yeah, 1 week, 3 days. Sometimes they do not reply, but sometimes even if they do not reply, as far as you know that they have regular publication, I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. Other tips, yeah, I think it's just patience and perseverance. Yeah, very important. I screen capture my status in social media in 2019. Yeah, just a self reminder. When we are writing a journal, we need perseverance, yeah, persistence. Yeah, we need 3 things, yeah, patience, perseverance, and I think the last one is very important, nothing to lose attitude, yeah. The higher the ranking of the journal, the, what is it, lower, yeah, the chance our article can be accepted easily, yeah. The more complicated and the more steps we have for the revision process. And the last one, the longer the process. It can take months, yeah, can be 6 to 1 year, 6 months to 1 year, yeah, for a very high ranking journal. So we need to really be patient, yeah. So after submitting an article to a journal, I don't think it's wise if we think too much about it and just hope for the best. This is my, what is it, self reminder for me, yeah. And if it applies to you, just please do, yeah. After submitting an article to a journal, just go on with your life. News, good or not so good, will come sooner or later. Because yeah, sooner or later you will have the, what is it, the decision, right? Accept or in revision or revision required or reject. Either way, you have the knowledge, yeah. If what is it, your article is accepted, good for you. If it needs revision, then you do revision and it can be accepted after the revision perhaps. And if it's rejected, of course they will reject your submission with reasons, right? In that case, yeah, you will get knowledge on how to improve your paper. So I think it's whatever the result you have, you are in the advantage, yeah, because you are having or you are obtaining new knowledge, yeah. I think this is the end of my sharing. I hope it's useful. If you still have questions, you can ask me later. Thank you very much, Ibu Heidi. I will keep back the time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Ada, for the amazing presentation. So remember, life must go on. Don't think too much after submitting your articles. Right, so for all of the participants, if you have questions, you can send your questions to the chat box by following the format that has been shared by the committee in the chat box. Okay, so next we'll enjoy another presentation about conducting research efficiently, tips and tricks by our second speaker of the webinar today, that is Ibu Sonya Feningsih Cerianti Benu, Master Pendidikan. Ibu Sonya got her bachelor degree at Universitas Kristen Satyawacana Salatiga and her master degree at Universitas Negeri Semarang. She is now working as a lecturer in English Education Program of Sekolah Tinggi Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Soe, as well as the head of the program. During her career journey, she spent 1 year teaching English in the Center of Language Teaching, Unika Semarang, and 2 years teaching English at Sekolah Kristen Benih Harapan, Jember, Jawa Timur. She also teaches English to math and biology students of STKIP Soe and the Indonesian language in STKIP Soe. Her research interests are strategies in teaching English, students' motivation in English language teaching, and education games for teaching English. She is now an author of International Journal of Science and Research and the editor of International Journal of Research and Innovation in Social Science. See, another outstanding source of knowledge, isn't she? So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to send your questions to the chat box by following the format that has been sent by the committee. And let's welcome Ibu Sonya Feningsi Cerianti Benu, Master Pendidikan. Floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning,
Good
Miss.
morning.
Morning,
Ibu Bulan. Today, I'm going to give you tips and tricks on conducting your research efficiently. First of all, let me say hello to Ibu Ada. Good morning, Ibu Ada.
Morning.
Okay. Well, so let's start with the material. Conducting a research efficiently, tips and also trick. Research, why is it important? And why we feel so difficult to conduct a research? Research defined as a careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or problems using scientific methods. Research is a systematic inquiry to describe, to explain, to predict, and also to control the observed phenomenon. In research, there are inductive method and also deductive method. So inductive is associated with qualitative and deductive is associated with quantitative. So from this, let's see who are actually the doers of research. Teachers, of course, lecturers, of course, students are also need to do research, and practitioners, academicians, and also researchers themselves. There are different motivations in doing research. So let's see, the first one is because of the interest. We want to improve our English, we want to give solution to some problems around us, around our class, and so on. And then the second one, especially for the lecturers and the teachers, because they want to fulfill the administration requirement, they need to have what is that? Article should be published. So they need to do research. They need to conduct a research. So it is because of functional position, rank, and so on. And then the next is there are some persons or some researchers or even students and lecturers, teachers want to dig or know deeper about a problem or an issue or even a trend. And then the last one is we want others to read our writing, then we publish our article, the result of our research. So others can use our articles as references. We have the motivation, but we do not have time. So how to manage our time between our work, between our teaching and then our administration things that we need to do, our time for family and other business that we need to do. So how to manage the time? So for this part, each of us have to manage our time. When should we write? When should we do another things? And then the next is publication. So Ibu Ada had talked about publication. So here, of course, we will find some credible publisher to publish our article or our writing. First, for lecturers, of course, they will see the index of the publisher, whether it includes in about 1 to 6 or Scopus, or for international journal, we will see the impact factor of the journal, the publisher. Well, the problems are we want to do all those things, but where do we start? Where do we start? What will we write? What problems should we choose? Or what specifically am I looking for? Are you looking for? And so many other questions coming to our mind. How about the introduction? How about the statement of the problem? How about the research questions and the objectives? And what kind of theories are going to be used, previous studies? And how about choosing participants? And the important and the difficult one is how to choose the method, and then the data analysis, data collecting and data analysis. So the students will stuck when they have done with the proposal and then doing their research. After that, what will they do for what is that? For analysis, data analysis. So let's see. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for writing an effective research. The first is organization is the key. So let's see, the first one is about the topic. How to choose the topic for the research. The topic should be simple, and the problems, the topic about the problems that we are going to conduct is around us. So if we are teachers or lecturers, then let's start from the classroom, because there are so many problems actually happen in the class, but sometimes we forgot, and we try to get something out there. And then the next is helpful sources. So the theories, the previous studies should be related to our topic. So if we are talking about strategies in speaking, then let's find out some theories and previous study related to speaking strategies. And then notes. Notes here that when we are reading articles or previous studies, then let's give some stick notes or bookmark or something as our index card to make us easier to find out any part that we need for our writing. And then the next one is outline. So after we taking notes, that try to write our first draft of the research, and then read and reread and also edit if it is needed. So as Ibu Ada said, that we have reading time. So before we are writing our outline, that we need to read a lot. Okay, and then the next tips and tricks are do the proper research. Find out some reliable sources, and for example, we can go to the library because there are so many books there. We can find out we will be easy to find out the sources, and then let us find out some comfortable places in the class or in the library or in spatial room, and then let's have like card catalog and computer to help us working on our research. And then, as I said before about choosing topic, so let's choose you have to choose your topic carefully. Make sure that the topic is beneficial for you, for your needs, your interest, and it will keep you writing until the end of your research. And then the next is taking notes. So while you are reading so many articles, don't forget to take notes, and please brainstorm, note down each part that will be add into your beginning, middle, and end of your research, for your writing. And then the next is write a first draft. So after reading so many articles, so many previous studies, then try to start writing sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, and then you need to reread over and over. It will be good for you if you have like proofreader to help you reading your draft, and then you can continue writing. Don't forget to see or to consider the template. Okay. The next, I will give you some guideline to an efficient research. The first one, please focus reading. So strong ideas to focus on. You need to have like some key questions to answer. So you will focus reading on those key questions. So if you are talking about, you are reading and have planned to write about strategies in speaking, then focus on those things. And then in here, for taking notes, you have to have like a shorthand skill. Shorthand skill is like you have to have ability to abbreviate some terms that you don't need to write them complete. And then the next one is stay organized. So if you are taking notes by your handwriting, that make sure that they are clearly and then chronologically and what is that, alphabetically by topic or authors. So it will help you stay organized in your writing. Okay, I think that's all the tips and tricks that I can share. I will give you some ideas on writing a good research. The first one, we need to identify the main trends or issues or problems before we have our fixed topic, and then keep track of the frequency with each of the main findings appears, and then make a list of your findings. Of course, you need to evaluate the list of the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and prepare conclusions and also recommendations. Act on your strategies, look for the gaps in any information that you read, and next is you need to plan to review your writing. So review your goals before making a conclusion about your research, of course. Keep in mind how the process you have completed and the data you have gathered help answer your questions, and ask yourself if what your analysis revealed the identification of your conclusions and also recommendation. All right, then I think that's it. I'm going to end my presentation by giving you a quote about research. This is it. Okay, research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. So my beloved students are attending this webinar. This is the quote: research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. So we all don't know what we are doing. All right, thank you. That's it. Ibu Ulan, all right.
All right, thank you very much, Ibu Sonya, for the outstanding presentation. Hopefully the material can help us to improve ourselves, publishing the result of our research. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are entering the question and answer session. So for the first round, I'm going to read the chosen questions. So here we have we have three questions for Ibu Ada. So I'm going the first question, and then Ibu Ada will answer it, and then I'll continue reading the next question. So we will take it in turn. So the first question from Hilly Feynman from Universitas Kristen Duta Wacana. The question is it allowed to submit your rejected article to another journal? In this case, a lower level journal without any changes. Okay, I'll read it once again. Is it allowed to submit your rejected article to another journal? In this case, lower level journal without any changes. Okay, that's the question, and I'll give the chance to Ibu Ada to answer the question.
Yes, thank you, Bu Hedi. Yeah, I think, Bu Hedi, the question, yes, we can, yeah, I think we can submit our declined paper to a lower level journal, actually to any other journal, yeah. So once our article is rejected or declined, we can send it to any journal without revision, without any changes. Of course, we know that when we are our paper is rejected, we get actually some feedback, yeah, for us to improve our paper. Usually, it's better for us to to utilize the opportunity, yeah, utilizing the feedback to improve our paper and submit it somewhere else, rather than just submit to another journal. Yeah, I think that is my response. Yeah, yes, you can. But I would suggest you to revise first, yeah, based on the feedback from the previous journal that declines your submission. Thank you, Bu Heidi.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ada. Next, I will read the second question. That is from Melizar. From Melizar. She is from Universitas Malikussaleh, and she wrote the questions in Indonesian. So this is the question. Untuk publikasi jurnal, terutama jurnal yang bereputasi Scopus, WOS, ataupun Sinta 1 dan 2, apakah benar penulisnya sangat berpengaruh untuk di-accept? Maksudnya dari track record author-nya.
We do not be afraid of certain reputation. I mean, there is always a first time for everything. Yeah, there is no track record if we do not start something. Yeah, so we just, if I can suggest, just focus on the quality of our paper. Submit to the journal that you or we are all brave or positive. Yeah, about it. And when we submit it, we have the attitude of whether or not this submission is accepted, I get something, either the accepted paper or I get the knowledge from the revision or from the feedback. Yeah. So step by step, I think you can build, or we all can build the reputation. But the question whether or not the name really is really influential, I don't think so. I don't think so. Journal of high reputation would not list their name only to accommodate certain famous names, if what they write is not good enough. So even if you are or we are first timer, if we have a good quality article, we can submit it to any journal, and then if it's deemed good enough, then I think it can be accepted. Yeah, I think that's it, Heidi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ibu Ada. Last question for Ibu Ada. It is from Jessica. She is from STKIP Soe, and her question is, what are the benefits of putting the citations in the part of finding and discussions? That's the question.
Yeah, I think in the findings and discussion, we have actually two parts, of findings and the analysis of findings. That is the discussion. In the finding, we just do what we call data reading. When we are doing data reading, we do not do anything in relation with citations or other research. We just focus on our finding. We report what we find in our research, but it is not enough. So after our finding, we need to discuss the finding in relation with literature. Let's say, for example, this finding is in contrast with previous studies finding. If it's in contrast, what may be the cause? What may be the problems? What may be the factors? And then, for example, it's the same as the previous studies findings. Why it can be the same? So we need to find possible reasons of that. In relation with literature. So it's not enough for us to just analyze using our assumption. We need to see other researchers, other researchers' findings to analyze our current research. So the research is not a standalone. What we do in our research is not something that stands alone. It stands among other research studies in the plethora of literature. There are many other people are doing the same. Are investigating the same topic. So we cannot close our eyes to the possibility that the findings of our research are the same or different from other research. And we need to analyze why they are different. They are the same, maybe the factor, something like that. So it's not really what benefits, it's given, it's given. I mean, when we are talking about discussion, it's given that we need to analyze it in relation with literature. Yeah, I hope it's answering.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ada. Well, seems like we still have time, so is it okay if I read 2 more questions? Okay, so the next question is from STKIP Soe. So her question is, what are the experimental studies that we can use? Oh, sorry. What are kinds of the studies that we can use to do experimental studies?
Yeah, I think
That's the question.
yeah. Can I answer it now? Yeah. Okay. So experimental. I mean, I think if I'm mistaken, this is a stem from science. Yeah. So one we have control group, and then another one we have experimental group. But then, even though it's methodologically correct, yeah, actually, I personally, yeah, let's say, for example, I have 2 classes, yeah. Let's say 2 speaking classes, A and B. And then one I implement, in one class, I implement certain application, let's say, for example, and then I do not implement anything. Yeah, I want to see whether or not the use of certain application will give benefits to the other class. Yeah, it's pretty much like that experiment research. Yeah, we have one control group in which we don't do anything, and then one experimental group in which we try something. In education, I think, let's say, for example, the use of certain application, in my belief, yeah, my intuition says it gives benefits to my students. If I believe, as a teacher, if I believe this application is useful for my students, why would I just give it to one class? I would just give it to both of my classes, right? So that is the dilemma of experimental study, in my opinion, yeah, when it's implemented in educational research. Methodologically, yeah, that is what we call experimental. So we have 2 comparisons, one control group and one experimental group. That's it, for Heidi.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Ibu Ada. Those are the questions that have been chosen by the committee. Thank you very much for answering. Hopefully the answers from Ibu Ada can help the askers to improve their publication life. Okay, now we move to the next speakers. And here are some questions that have been chosen by the committee. So, Ibu Sonya, are you ready to answer?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question for you. That is from Subekti. Subekti is from STKIP Soe, and her question is, what are the most challenging parts in doing the research? Question.
Okay. So I answer directly.
Yes, you can
What are the most
I-
challenging part in conducting a research? So actually, all the parts are everything is challenging. So usually there are a lot of things. There are a lot of challenging during writing our research. So what we need to do is stay focused. So if we are going to write about speaking by using educational games, for example, then make sure that we stay on that. and to read a lot about those things. The problem is read too much, so that's the challenging actually, I think.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Sonya, for answering the question. The next question is from Hilda. She is also from STKIP Soe. This question is so student. Okay, so the question is like this. Why publication journal is important for us to know?
Okay, well, publication journal is important for students. Well, the first one is you train yourself to write, of course, and then when you publish your journal, you also train yourself to be patient, let others review your writing, and then if there is revision, then you need to revise, and if there are some requirements that you need to complete, that you have time to work on those things, I think. The other thing you need to know is when you publish your journal, student's journal, of course, there are some grade that you will get. Thank you, Bulan.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Sonya, for the answers. And yeah, those are the questions that have been sent by the committee to me. And now we come to the last round of the session. So I'm going to call two participants to ask their questions directly to our speakers. One participant will get the chance to ask the first speaker, and the other will get the chance to ask the second speaker. All right, so for the first chance, I will give to Jessica to ask Ibu Sonya. Okay, you may grab a chance.
Thank you for the opportunity that given to me. I will ask a question for Ma'am Sonya. What are the things that researchers do need to do in writing a research?
Thank you, Jessica. Is it clear, Ibu Sonya?
No, I cannot hear.
Oh, okay.
I cannot hear the voice at all.
Sorry, Jessica, can you please repeat your question because you cannot hear your voice.
Okay. Well, let me repeat my question. My question is, what are the things that researchers do not need to do in writing a research? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. So her question is, what not to be done in doing a research? That's the question, Ibu Sonya.
Okay. What not to be done in doing research. So there are some points that we need to avoid when we are writing research. The first one, say, don't go out of your topic, and then is more on systematic. Make sure that you do not use what is that abbreviation or acronym or initialism, like something like that, and avoid some common words, and also the other systematically things that you need to avoid when you are writing your research. So Jessica, later on when you are taking research design, then everything will be clear there. So don't worry. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibu Sonya, for answering Jessica's question. And then we move to the next question for Ibu Ada. And I will give a chance to Yul Henley Tabran from Universitas Jambi. Okay, Yul Henley Tabran. Hello, Mr. or Mrs. Yul Henley Tabran, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, sure. You may grab the chance to ask Ibu Ada. Time is yours.
Yeah, I think she already answered through the chat. My question already being answered. Yeah, I don't have to repeat the question again because it had been answered already.
Oh, Ibu Ada has answered your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's also easier for everybody else in this Zoom meeting to know. I think, yes, I have answered the question, yeah, through a private chat. No, we cannot, yeah, we cannot submit the question. Could you repeat where is the question? Let me wait a second. Hang on. Yeah. Is it worth risking hours of hard work only to one journal at one time? Can we send the manuscript to more than one journal at the same? The answer is not only no, but a big no. Yeah, for this question. No, we cannot submit a manuscript to multiple journal. Yeah, multiple journals. No, we cannot do that. So yes, we are risking our months of hard work to one journal article. One journal. And that is why it's very important to submit our manuscript to a journal with, say, as I mentioned before, a regular publication. And that's why I said that we need patience and perseverance when we are committed to be journal article writer or author. Yeah. So multiple submissions to several several journals is not a good practice, especially if we are lecturers or teachers. Yeah. Yes, I understand that it's months of hard work, but we also need to understand that the editors of those journals also work. Yeah, also work. They have a review process, and you see, reviewers are voluntary job. Yeah, let's say for example, you submit to 3 journal. Yeah, one article to 3 journal, and then each journal has assigned 3 different reviewers. Yeah, reviewing your article voluntarily. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, you withdraw your submission. So you try to to keep your months of hard work worth it, worth it. But then you do not really pay attention to the people working on the other side. So that is one thing, yeah. So when we have a manuscript, we only need to submit. We have to only submit it to one journal at a time. So before this article is rejected by that journal, we cannot submit it anywhere else. But of course, in the process, we can ask the progress of the review, for example. So after we submit to the OJS of the journal, usually we have a waiting assignment status. And then after that, it progresses to in review status. And then after that, it progresses to revision required, for example, or accepted or rejected. So we wait for those processes. Yeah, we need to wait for these processes to finish or to complete first before we can submit it to another journal. Yeah, like what happened to the question from Bu Hili earlier. Yeah, we can submit to any other journal after it's rejected. Yeah, or if we can easily contact the editor, yeah. Let's say, for example, the of the we need to ask when withdraw. We are not asking, we are not saying I want to view it's just 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, if it's here, let's say, yeah, or 8 months without any progress, yes, I think we can say I want to withdraw my article. But then if it's just 2 months and then I need to withdraw that, yeah, I think that is not a good start to build a reputation as a journal article author. Yeah, so we need to be patient. That is what I can say. Yeah, I think even though it's already answered through a private chat, I think everybody else perhaps also needs to know. Thank you, Ibu Hedi.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ada. Well, actually, there is one more question that will be sent directly to you by Pak Yabes. So, Pak Yabes Olbata, you may ask the question directly to Ibu Ada.
Well, thank you, Ibu Hedi. So the very first thing I want to say is that
Problem, so we are going to go through it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so perhaps without any visual, yeah, I will try to answer Pak Yabes' question about reading habit. Yes, we need to read a lot before we can actually conduct research or write the report. Yeah. Yes, this reading a lot, yeah, possesses challenges, and how can we somehow cope with that? What work what works for me, I don't know if it works for other people, yeah, is that I will try to download as many journal articles as possible, yeah, as many journal articles as possible, and then I will try to rename the file, yeah, using the authors, yeah, the author's last name, and then the year, and then the title, and then I will have tons of PDF files, let's say, for example, like that, in one folder, and then after that I will open it one by one, and then I will do some highlighting. We have been familiar with scanning and skimming. So not all this downloaded article will eventually be used, yeah, in our research. But then through scanning, skimming, yeah, we can have, if we are having PDF reader, yeah, PDF reader, we can have find, right? Find these keywords, yeah, using keywords. If the keywords that we want is not there, yeah, keywords that we want are not there, then we can just delete that article, that PDF, and then we can move on to other articles. We can do highlighting. We can do highlighting. We highlight important parts, important information, yeah. And then the next time we read the PDF, we already have the highlighted parts. These highlighted parts are parts that we predict will be used, will be able to help us, yeah, to write the report. So when I'm talking about reading, I'm not talking about reading in depth every single article. So we can read purposefully, yeah, using skimming, scanning, yeah. Sometimes we just focus on the method section, yeah. Sometimes we focus on the finding. Sometimes we focus on the participants, depending on the needs of our research, the needs of our report writing. Sometimes we need information for completing the information in the method section. Then we can focus our attention to the methods that are used in those research articles, rather than every single idea, every single information there. I hope it's answering, yeah, Pak Yobes, without any visual help. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Adaninggar, for answering the questions. Well, we are very sorry because we got trouble with the connection. Yeah, that is what we experience after the Seroja storm currently. But hopefully what we have done today can help us to grow and develop our ability to write and to publish our article in scientific journals. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the end of question and answer sessions and also the webinar sessions. So I'm going to give back the time to the host. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much,
Mrs.
Mrs.
Heidi,
Heidi, for being the moderator, and thank you very much for the specials, the honorary speakers, Ada and Mrs. Sonya, for sharing fruitful information for us. And ladies and gentlemen, now please turn on your camera and we can have picture together. But make sure that you use or set your background by using picture that the committee have shared on chat box.
Okay, so I'll take the turn because there's something happened to the host's laptop. So we are very sorry for that. But please give your great smile. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining the webinar today. Okay, that's the first slide, and then we continue to the next slide. All right. Please turn on your camera. There are some participants that haven't turned on their cameras. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Next, the third slide. And the last one. Great then. Okay, thank you everyone for joining the webinar. Don't forget to fill the attendance list that the committee has shared in the chat box. And for the certificate and the PowerPoint will be delivered after the webinar. Okay, that's all, and see you in the other webinar. Bye.
Bye, Miss.
Yes.